Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Xeracon. I'm back once again, and today is Metroid Monday. Woohoo! So if you've been like following me on Twitter and stuff, you'll see that I stumbled upon something called Metroid Monday. And since Metroid is one of my favorite franchises ever, I decided, you know what? For today and the next 3 weeks, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing Metroid 1 through 4. I mean, this is Zero Mission. This isn't, the original Metroid 1, just because of the fact that I think that Metroid 1 and 2 are really, really outdated. And the gameplay is just so stiff, and it's... Why am I shooting at that? But yeah, the game is just so stiff, and the games are, both of them are stiff and just like, it's not as great as it once was, considering the fact that things have improved. I'm playing Zero Mission, and then also for next week I'll be playing AM2R. Now you could be saying, like, why are you playing AM2R instead of, like, Samus Returns? Well, one reason why is AM2R just feel like is a superior game to Samus Returns. Don't get me wrong, Samus Returns was a good game. I definitely, thoroughly, wholeheartedly enjoyed that game when I played it, and it's a game that I was looking forward to. However, after playing AM2R, I feel like that game just, gameplay-wise, is better. Just because I think it's the game that we sort of wanted, as far as, like, a game that's, well, I guess, like, a more sprite-based 2D game. I mean, the 2.5D effects of Samus Returns was good, but I think that the game is definitely going to age poorly. It's especially just because of the fact that the graphics for the 3DS is like a 480p display. And even just like ignoring the resolution, the graphics themselves are what's going to age poorly. Like, you can't just like upscale that game and make it look better just because of the fact that no, the textures are not that good. So I think if they had gone with a sprite-based game, sort of like AM2R, it's definitely a game that you can go back and replay many years later. I mean, like, there's a reason why Super Metroid and a lot of games like that can still be played today and enjoyed, whereas a game like, say, N64 games or PlayStation 1 games, Saturn games, games like those, because of the fact that the textures just aren't that great. I mean, even to some degree, like, you could say, like, certain PS2, GameCube, and Xbox, I mean, the original Xbox games, those are sort of, like, dated as well, which is why we have, like, the remake or remastered versions. One thing I will say, though, about Samus Returns is the fact that they really did a great job with explaining some of the lore in Metroid. That's something I felt wasn't really done well in AM2R. Remember the first time I fought this guy, it took me just like a couple different tries to get it right. It's not hard at all. The charge beam is essentially the four man's version of the screw attack, just because it works as well as the screw attack does. Only downside is the fact that you can really only use it against one enemy at a time. So if you're trying to say, jump through a cluster of enemies like right here, you will only be able to take out one, and then you will take damage from any of the others. So that's its downside. But still, like, as long as you're not trying to, as long as you're not trying to just, like, be, reckless, they'll work for you. Granted, certain enemies that screw attack can damage, you won't necessarily be able to, like, injure, like, the, I think they're called the, Zoomers. No, those are Zoomers down there. The Rippers. Rippers you won't be able to use the charge beam against. You won't be able to use against space pirates. You won't be able to use against any other types of enemies that the screw attack can do. I'm skipping the rooms down there and other rooms like these just because I already know what they are, or rather, the fact that I know where I'm going. I don't need to go. I don't need to go to like a map room. I don't need to go to the Chozo statues that tell you where to go. So I'm just skipping those. Also, so we can cover more ground. So yeah, so I played this game back in 2002. This was my first Metroid game. I had never played a Metroid game before then. Yeah, I actually didn't know that Samus was a woman. I mean, I had played Smash Brothers and I played Smash Brothers, and even though it says Samus being a woman, like, I really didn't read that part, so I always thought that Samus was a robot. So I played this, I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I am so surprised about this, I had no idea, like, why didn't anyone tell me, or like, why haven't I heard about that? And I was like, oh wow. Then years later I go back to playing Smash Brothers on N64, and I'm like, it was there the whole time, and I just didn't read it. Granted, I wasn't really fascinated about, like, the Pikachu and Jigglypuff files, just because they were actually just, like, saying the Pokedex information, and I didn't play Pokemon then, so I was like, this information is boring, like, what? I don't care about this. Mess that up. But yeah, so Zero Mission was my first Metroid game. I think that Prime 1 was my second, but I'm not certain if it was that one or Fusion. It really... like, I'm really not sure, because I want to say that was Prime, but I wasn't certain if I had gotten Fusion before that point in time. And then after Prime 1... well, at least after either it would be Fusion or Prime 1, then I played Prime 2, then I went back. No, I didn't go back. I went back and then I played, I think, Metroid 2 before playing Prime 3 and Other M. Now, before I actually played Prime 2, I actually played Hunters on the DS. Haven't played Pinball. Haven't played that one. And I've played essentially every Metroid game at this point except for Pinball. Like, that's the only one that I haven't played yet. People keep talking about, like, this one Metroid game, but I don't know what they're talking about. They keep calling it Federation Force, but that's not a Metroid game, so I don't know why they say, like, that's one game that I haven't played yet. So I actually, I traded this game at GameStop some time ago. just because of the fact that the game, if you know what you're doing, this game will be really quick. I mean, the game is short by itself. Like, you can beat this game in, like, I want to say maybe 3 hours. Like, I think you can definitely beat it in under 4 on your first time. But like, once you know what you're doing, you can beat this game in an hour. Like, it wasn't for the fact that I guess I just didn't want to make an hour-long video right now. I mean, like, I could probably just go ahead and just, like, play this video, play this game, and then just, like, people can watch it and stuff, and I can talk to people. But, just, like, making a video, an hour-long video, like, I don't like making unnecessarily long videos, just because I'm, like, people have things to do. People don't just want to watch, videos that are pointlessly long. Like, maybe if there were, like, a string of videos that were long, like, I know that my Japan videos, those were at least 20 minutes, and I really tried cutting that down too, because, like, the uncut versions were at least, for each day, it would have been, like, an hour long, so I'm like, no, I don't want to do that to people. I want to bore people out. Not good at wall jumping with just one wall, or at least not with this, controller. Although even if I did wall jump up all the way there, I still would have been blocked by the edge. Because there was an arch that was going up over there. Jump over this one. But yeah, so I eventually did buy this game again, and I'm glad I did, because this game is, it's not exactly cheap. Like, this game is, last time I checked on Amazon, I think this game was like $40 used, and I'm like, wow. So I bought it back, and when I bought it back, I played it on, my Nintendo GameCube's Game Boy player, and I was just like, all the nostalgia was coming back, just because I remember booting up, you know, seeing that emergency order, and then hearing the music from the title screen, which is beautiful. It was just, yeah, it was just a good moment for me, just to go back to that game. Now, one thing I do need to do is I need to go back, because I also traded in a copy of Fusion, which, don't worry, I'll be playing that, I'll still be playing that on the 4th, Metroid Monday. But I need to go back and get a copy of that, just because of the fact that, you know, I want to have that back in my collection again. I enjoyed it. It was a good game. Like, it's definitely a game that I think that, in some ways, people definitely enjoyed more than Zero Mission, just because of the fact that, well, it was definitely a longer and more, I guess you could say, it was a game with more content. It was definitely more of a challenge than Zero Mission. I mean, Zero Mission, unless you're playing on hard difficulty, it's pretty simple. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I first played this game, I had my fair share of deaths. long for them to thaw out. But yeah, so like if you know where you're going, you can like, unless like ones like these where it's mandatory, like you have no choice but to access these Shozo statues, you can really just bypass them, speed pass through, because I think there are at least maybe like 3 or 4 of these that you can't bypass. And that's actually weird, because I was playing this not that long ago, and the third one of those things, whatever they are, didn't pop up, and so I actually had to make a jump from the second one over to the edge there. But you can skip like most of these, you can skip most of the Chozo statues. I definitely think that, sorry, I need to do that too. This is gonna get really difficult. But I think that Samus Returns had the difficulty that, Fusion had. I mean, Metroid, Samus Returns was definitely a hardy, challenging game that I definitely had my fair share of deaths in, which I was like, oh my gosh, wow, this is definitely quite a challenging game in some parts. I mean, some people might say like, wow, you really died at Samus Returns. I'm like, yeah, I actually died in some places, like especially facing some of the bosses and the Metroids themselves, like the later evolutions. I also appreciate what the developers did with, well, I'm not gonna spoil it just in case there are people who haven't played it, but like I don't want to say the post. What they did with the final boss, if you know what I'm talking about, like I think that was definitely good. And I'm definitely glad they did that. Like I think that's something that would be appreciated. That I definitely appreciated. And I think in some ways, I think that a completely perfect Metroid 2 would combine essences of AM2R and Samus Returns, and then we would get like a completely definitive Samus Returns. Just because of the fact that the gameplay of AM2R was perfect, but I think that Samus Returns did better with the world building and the lore that was sort of absent from AM2R. Now don't get me wrong, AM2R did do some stuff, like they did have like their own sort of like Chozo ruins there. It did also have like it did actually have you find the missing Federation crew and stuff like that, which is sort of like the reason why Samus is supposed to go there in the first place, to SR388. But I still think overall the story of Samus Returns was better. I just enjoy Kraid's theme, like, you can actually just, like, grab the edge there, and you don't actually have to, shoot yourself back up, if you can time it right. I'm actually gonna start getting to wrap this up once we head back to the main hall. Then I'll probably end the video, just because it's already 20 minutes now, and I don't want to carry on for too long. Bit of a cheapskate with ammunition, so I always try to. I should have been able to. Went back too early, so I don't like to waste like missiles and stuff like that. Which is like in Prime 2 when you actually have like the light and dark beam. I really just like, unless I actually need to use them. Unless I actually need to use it, I really just like try to be as conservative with my ammunition as possible, just because I'm like, no, I'm not using that. Which is why I just like, in pretty much any RPG I'm playing, I always have like 5 or so, or like I have all of my elixirs that I never use, just because I'm like, oh, I don't know when I'll actually use it, and it's like, but you never use it. Same thing with like Master Balls. I've never, well no, I have used Master Balls before, but like I got to the point where I don't use them. I just have them just because. Like, I typically don't use missiles on those enemies there when I play, just because I'm speeding things up. I'm just like, oh, I'll just go ahead and do that. So yeah, so here we are at the end. Let me know what your favorite Metroid is in the comments below. Let me know what your first Metroid game is. And that will do it for today. So until next time, everyone, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one.